Good morning, Hillcrest families. This is Dr. Lynch here. I am multitasking. I'm trying to get some breakfast done. I have kids that are running around being a little bit crazy, but I wanted to give you some tips and tricks about math. We're getting a lot of questions and a lot of anxiety about if we don't go back to school, how are my children going to learn math? I really don't understand this Common Core math that you've been sending home all year, and you're worried about what comes next. First thing that I want to tell you is don't worry about it. Everybody in the nation, everybody in the world is going through the same situation. We are responsible for the education of your children. We as educators will make sure that any gaps that occur because of this interesting year that we're having right now, we're going to fill in those gaps when we come back together. So please do not stress yourself out as parents about trying to learn a whole new way of math to teach your children. We're going to work on that with them when we can. You can start to build really great number sense and have them understand math just by everyday things. There are things that you can do around the house. You're not expected to, you don't have to, but if you're interested in moving that learning forward in math, I've got some great things here that you can practice. These are things that, frankly, a lot of times we don't have a lot of time for in the school day, but that are critical all the same. The first thing is time. Our students don't understand analog clocks anymore. So here's a quick tip for you. Just take a paper plate, nothing fancy, markers, cut 2 straws to different sizes. You don't even have to, you'll see online where they put a brad in the middle and you can twirl it around. It doesn't have to be fancy like that. Just plop them down on the plate and you can have your children start to read different time. You can get a piece of paper, and once you make the time, they can record the time, or then you can write some times down and have them make it on their clock. This is a great skill. Start with just the hours, then you can move to the half hours, 15 minutes, fives, and minutes, so on and so forth. But this is something that you can do every day. You can incorporate it. It's lunchtime, it's dinner time. What time is it? Practicing that way. The other thing that children don't get a lot of practice with anymore, because we don't see it all that much anymore, is money. So if you're like me and you have one of these like weird change bins hanging around your house, this is a great time to pull it out. Have your children practice learning what all of the different coins are and what their value is, identifying the coins, and then being able to do some simple addition and subtraction with money. One of the best things for older kids is teaching them how to count on with money. This is an old cashier skill for those of you like me who can remember the first time you ever had to make change and you did it the hard way, or if you ever go to a store now and the machine's broken and the poor kid running the register cannot figure out how to give you change if you give them a $20 bill and a 1 cent, like a penny, and they're like, their mind is blown. These would be great skills that children can be working on right now. The other thing is measurement. So both liquid and dry measurement you can be working on. You can be having your students manipulate actual food items if you want to. If you prefer not to do that because you're really trying to conserve your food, just having them understand the difference between liquid measurement and dry measurements. Also having them understand how you would put these things together to maybe do a recipe. So as an example, just take an old cookbook that you have laying around. If you don't have an old cookbook laying around, you can print off a recipe online. Maybe it's a recipe that you want to make as a family. Maybe it's not, that's okay. And you can have your children half it. Yeah, they're playing a game. I swear they're not dying. You can have them half the recipe or double or triple the recipe. You can have your older students turn the fractions into decimals. And then one of the most important things that you can do that is great about recipes is that you can say, okay, this calls for 3/4 cup of sugar. How are we going to measure that out? Because most of you do not have 3/4 cup in your house. You have a 1/4 cup and you would do it 3 times. Or, sometimes if you're like me, I can only find like 1/4 of a teaspoon. I can't find my actual teaspoon. So I have to, even if it says 1 teaspoon and I don't see it. So you can have them do that and say like, okay, now I'm taking away the cup, but I still need a cup of something. What could I use to still make a cup? Those are great tips and tricks with stuff that you just have around your house. I'm going to do this with Declan. Can you say hi, Declan? The other super easy thing to do, these are Grady's. These are his flashcards. So these are what he knows. He has a little pile right here of what he doesn't know yet. So we went through and I made really, really cheap cards with note cards. I don't know all my facts, so I put the answer on the back in pencil. Mom tip, put it in pencil because otherwise they'll be able to read it through your card if you do that. And then he just practices a couple minutes every day. We pull out a couple that he doesn't know and a few that he does know, and he just goes through them. And then every day we sort of see what's sticking, what's not. Fast facts. It's a really great thing that you can be doing with your children. And then what we do is, I just erased it today because he's actually working on it right now. But then when he gets finished, we record how many he actually knows so that he can feel that sense of accomplishment going forward. Hold on. Yeah.
I wish we could go to the playground.
I know. Everybody here. Don't you wish you could go to the playground too? We all wish we could go to the playground, but we're doing our duty and we're going to stay home, right?
Because we don't want to get anybody sick.
We don't want to get anybody sick, and we don't want to get sick. The last thing that you can do is measurement. If you have a ruler, these things are used around my house as swords or a yardstick. I can't even find my tape measure, but you could use a tape measure and just have students go around and measure lots of things. Your older students can figure out the area. They could create different configurations for you. You could say, I want to rearrange the living room. Can you tell me another way that I could rearrange the living room by measuring the living room and the furniture and then figuring it out on a piece of paper? Important things to remember is to teach children that they're going to start at the zero, not at the end of the ruler. You can also teach them the difference between metric and imperial measurements, between those centimeters and the inches. These are great things that you can do around the house. Okay, it's 2 inches. How many centimeters would it be? Easy, you'll have it. You don't have to plan anything. You're like, they're in your hair. What am I going to do right now? Go measure some stuff. Go count some money. So I hope that is helpful for you. Hang in there, parents. You are doing a really, really great job. As you can see, we're all living this new life here together. We're all in it together, and we will continue to share out with you any tips and tricks that we get. Have a great day.